Hey, how's it going? Usually, I forgot Marcus played with the video a little bit. Usually, the Field of Dreams field goes a little longer. Rob just banished on us. Jason, how are you tonight, sir?
Adam, I am well. Glad to be back with you guys. Looking forward to talking more sports and talking more ball.
Amen.
Jeremy, how are you tonight, sir?
Have been better, been worse. I'm here. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Everyone's striving question. Jeremy, you don't think they should. A lot of people think they should, or you think they shouldn't. A lot of people think they should. What would you do as Scoob?
Well, number one, he didn't have that good of an outing versus you. He gave up 2 runs. So I would let him keep pitching and see if I can get more because the offers we had were dog shit.
What were they? I didn't even know we had offers. I didn't even
Oh,
know.
16 different contenders called Detroit looking for him, and none of them offered more than one prospect or one player.
Do you feel the injury has taken his value down?
Yes, that's 100% what it is. So we have to let him prove that he's still Scooble. That's what it all comes down to.
So they were trying to get this great pitcher for a can of worms.
Right.
Jay, was your team involved in any of this mess to get Scooble?
They were the leader because they offered 2 prospects and some batter that's in the MLB, but he isn't worth a fuck.
Yeah, pretty much what Jeremy said. I mean, there were a lot of rumored trade packages that LA could have offered. Because again, the Dodgers are very heavy in outfield prospects. They're also very heavy in pitching prospects, but they were just rumored. From what I understand, guys like Charles Davalin and Jose DePaula and Kendall George and Zaire Hope never came up in any substantial trade talks or discussions. So basically, what Jeremy said is pretty spot on. The Dodgers were willing to offer pennies on the dollar to get Scooble. Detroit didn't bite, and back to square one.
They basically said, "Kiss my ass."
Yeah,
and they have the right to. They have the arbitration right to do it.
Yes, they do.
That's what it.
You said there were 16 teams, Jeremy, besides the Dodgers. What other heavy hitters were involved in this?
The Yankees, the Blue Jays, a few AFC teams other than the Dodgers, and a few more, and a whole bunch out of the American League. And I for one do not want him in the American League because I don't want to have to face him on a regular basis.
Were any of the small teams involved in this?
No, none.
So like the Guardians weren't interested. I'm sure they were interested, but they knew they couldn't get them. Obviously the Pirates were probably not involved in this mess.
Yeah, I never heard any of the smaller market teams put up much of an offer or any rumors flying around. So yeah,
put it this way: there's 17 teams with a payroll, and then there's 13 teams that don't have a payroll. It was none of those 13 teams.
Yeah.
Other than the Brewers did make an offer, is the only one that was in the lower payroll scale, the ones that right at the edge of it.
Right on the edge of it. Got it.
No, because if they get that floor and ceiling in, we know it's going to equal a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't want.
Jay, did they rush them back? Did they leave them out long enough? I mean, obviously, they didn't really mess around with the timeline on Shohei. They said, hey, it's going to be a couple days, and he's been in the lineup.
My personal opinion is I felt they rushed him back. Inflammation of any joint and any muscle is no joking matter. It's no laughing matter. I mean, inflammation can be a number of things. And actually, we found out subsequently that the inflammation on Shohei's knee is also the same knee that he had surgery on back in 2019. I guess he was born with a rare condition where he has 2 knee bones rather than just one each. And so he had to have surgery to go in and correct that. Well, now ever since that surgery, I guess it's not uncommon for him to have inflammation in that knee. So yeah, Adam, I think they rushed him back too much. I would have kept him out for the rest of that White Sox series. I know
this isn't just to take ibuprofen and get the swelling to go down.
no, Adam,
like
Adam,
like all
yeah,
us
no.
normal people.
Yeah, no, this is more. This is more than just popping ibuprofen and going back out there the next day. This could potentially rear its ugly face in both Shohei and the Dodgers faces the wrong way. And the reason I say that is because this has now presented a new problem for the Dodgers. I say that because Shohei publicly stated that Shohei believes his pitching mechanics in part played a role in the knee inflammation happening in the first place. And if this is true, then the Dodgers now have a new problem on their hands, because if his pitching did in fact cause the knee inflammation, what do the Dodgers do next? Do they continue to run him out there every fifth or sixth day? And do they still continue to have him bat on the days that he pitches? Do they still roll the dice and take the chance that this thing is not going to flare up again? And if it does flare up again, it could be worse than what happened the last time around. And so this just kind of leads into what I've always felt about LA eventually coming at a crossroads where they're going to have to decide, is Shohei more valuable to them as a hitter or more valuable to them as a pitcher? And based on what he said and based on the history of the injury, if I'm the Dodgers, I am seriously sitting Shohei down and I'm saying, look, we want you to have a chance to win a Cy Young award. We want you to have a chance to win an MVP award, both in the same season. But at some point, you have to decide where your value lies more on the team as a hitter and as a pitcher. And even with their injuries in their rotation, he is more valuable to them as a hitter. So, yeah, Adam, this is a unique problem the Dodgers have. And as usual, per the Dodgers, they're being very tight-lipped about how they're going to handle it. But right now, they're just going to take it on a day-to-day basis. They're going to continue to monitor Shohei. And but like I said, I'm a little concerned that this is going to flare up again. And if it does, it could be worse than the first time here.
Yeah, Jeremy, you look like you were ready to say something.
I've already said this once before with Jason. I said, I personally would make Shohei not be a DH when he's pitching. Have him take a day off and then let him DH for 2 days, have a day off and then pitch again. You got a 6-man rotation. That would allow him still to allow his bat to help, but allow his pitching to be more effective.
I don't know if I want that pitching to be more effective, boys.
You may not, but I'm quite sure they do.
No,
because, I mean, this is a question that came up during the week. And I know I'm going to pick on my guy here, but when he pitches during the day, he gives up more home runs and more hits during the day than he does pitching night games. Now that we live in a world of analytics, and do you feel that, maybe they need to start looking at that more because Steens gives up many home runs during the day than he does at night? We look at analytics on everything else, so I don't know why we aren't looking at that side of the spectrum. If you guys actually looked at it that way, I mean, I've never been an analytics guy. I say let him pitch, but all of a sudden they did bring up a good point that he gives up more home runs during the day, which is questionable.
Yeah, I mean, it would behoove them to. I mean, conventional wisdom would have you say, hey, that they look at analytics and everything else with their baseball team would lead them to believe, hey, we should look at the analytics on this and find out what's going on with Skeens. Something else that I recently read this past weekend where the Miami Marlins have done something rather unique where they're now calling
the hottest team in baseball right now.
They are, and their bullpen is the best in Major League Baseball. The reason why is because they are calling pitches from the dugout. They're looking at analytical data from the dugout during the game to give to their pitchers to let them know, hey, here's what happened. And now this is different than what teams normally do with pitching coaches and pitchers. They're looking at actual statistical data on like a replay screen or something, and they're using that data to radio back into their pitchers to say, okay, look, on a 2-2 count this time, don't throw this instead. and it seems to be working for their bullpen because, again, like I said, the Marlins bullpen is the best in Major League Baseball right now. Whether you want to believe that, take a look at the numbers. The proof is in the pudding. And where I'm going with this, Adam, is maybe that's something the Pirates should do with Skeens. Maybe they should adjust with him in game rather than wait till after the game and before his next start. So pipe something into his ear that says, hey, Paul, instead of throwing a fastball here on a 1-2 count on the high outside corner of the plate, maybe you should adjust here because you got the last batter out on a slider low and away at the ankles. Is it a guarantee that it will work? No, because what works for one team doesn't necessarily work for the other. But that the Marlins are doing that.
Isn't that kind of like cheating, though?
Well, not really. No, not really. If you think about it, because unless they're actually, telling pitchers, hey, what kind of signs are you getting from the hitters or something like that? I don't think it's cheating. They're telling their players, okay, look, here's what you should throw based on how you did against the hitter during his previous at bat. No, I don't think that's cheating. I think that's rather industrious if they're doing that. I would think it would be cheating if the Marlins pitching coach told their pitcher, hey, this guy right now is getting signs from the third base coach that you're going to be throwing a fastball or a slider on a 2-2 count. You may want to make sure you're throwing a changeup or a curve. So that is definitely cheating. But what the Marlins are doing, according to reports, is they're just telling their pitchers, hey, here's how you should be adjusting your in-game pitching based on the last at-bat. So they're analyzing every previous at-bat to determine what they're going to do to the hitters in their next at-bats. It's almost similar, Adam, to guys pulling out their scouting report cards that they have laminated in their back pockets and looking at it, trying to figure out, okay, where do I adjust on the field versus here versus there? It's almost the same thing, except they're not using a card. They're just using technology to tell their pitchers what to throw and when to throw.
Now, are they talking to their catchers and with the earpieces in? Because I noticed the catcher from West Virginia yesterday usually plays second base, which he is from Star Valley, which is pretty much 40 minutes from me. He's probably going to go pro. But I noticed him yesterday. He had a full wire going down his back into his ear, and I was curious. Like, I wonder if West Virginia has already been doing that, and that's where they might have got their idea.
Oh, I'm sure they have. And I'm sure there are a handful of other college teams that have done the same thing as well. And if the Marlins are doing this right now, other major league GMs and coaches and managers are hearing about this. And we all know, guys, that professional sports, any type of sport, is a copycat league. If it's working for one team, eventually everyone else is going to start doing it. So the Marlins are the first team to do it, but I guarantee you they won't be the last, because right now, behind closed doors, there are about half a dozen GMs talking to their managers and pitching coaches, trying to figure out, A, should we do this? B, can we do it? And C, will it benefit us in the long run? So the Marlins won't be the first and only team to do this.
I just want to say congratulations to that guy right there. Winning the Conn Smythe and the Stanley Cup at 37 years old last night. Great accomplishment, Jordan Staal. Obviously, I've been a fan of him. Hated to see him leave the team, but business decisions happen, and he's done awesome with what he's done.
It's been 20 years since the Hurricanes won a Stanley Cup. Is that correct?
Yes.
Prior to last night.
Oh, I know. It's like them. I like the black on the jersey now. I like that.
Yeah, right? No kidding.
From what we were watching the UFC fight, switching back and forth, but anyway. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, on what, Jordan Staal winning at 37, the Conn Smythe in the finals?
Well, I was talking more about the pitching thing, but yeah, if you want to talk about the finals, go ahead.
No. I mean, you switched topics, so I didn't know what you were asking me because you didn't specify. That's what
Jeremy, sometimes around here we talk about everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think it's amazing what the Marlins are doing because it's falling into the parameters. They are not signaling like what happened with the Astros. So it's a totally different thing. It's all within the parameters of what can be done. If you're using analytics that way and you're using the microphone so they can't tell what you're saying to them, I'm quite sure he's got like something up in front of his mouth so no one can lip read.
Rav is having internet issues, just to let you know.
Okay.
It's a damn shame, Rav.
Hurry up, Rav. Get back on, damn it.
Let it rip. Let it rip. I think you're going to see this more and more throughout the year.
So are batters going to be able to adjust too with this? Like, hey, they struck you out with this fastball. We're thinking they're going to go slide or curve on the next round.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we would be fools to assume that they wouldn't do that because, like I said, copycat league, and eventually, well, now that the word is out that the Marlins are doing this in game rather than before or after games, yeah, Adam, I think you're right. It's safe to say that eventually hitting coaches are going to start doing the same thing with the batters. They're going to start saying, "Okay, look, let's kind of reassess here how you're going to approach this at bat." So I wouldn't be surprised if during an actual at bat, a hitting coach is telling one of his hitters, "Hey, don't forget on that 1-2 pitch in your last at bat, you swung and missed on a breaking ball inside that buckled you at the knees. So instead, this time, why don't you back up or do something like that?" But yeah, I think it's logical to assume that hitting coaches and batters will be doing the same thing eventually.
Score update. It's 5-3 over the Astros in the top of the fourth with 1 out, bases empty.
I hope the Pirates can duplicate what the Colorado Rockies did last night in Las Vegas, because that's where the Pirates are tonight in Vegas. I think they're still in Vegas. I don't think they went back to Sacramento yet,
No, they're still in Vegas.
which is really weird.
Yeah. And the thing about Vegas too is everyone made a big deal about the Rockies scoring this barrage of runs. Well, when the A's do get their new ballpark, it is going to be climate controlled. I mean, it is going to be a retractable roof.
Telling you, 30,000. I think that's where they made their huge mistake, boys.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, hey, if you like the ball leaving the yard, if chicks dig the long ball, then yeah, go to the Vegas minor league ballpark and watch a game. But if you like a good old fashioned pitching duel on occasion, one of those 1-0, 2-1 types of games, you're better off going.
Do you want to jump in with us tonight? You're more than welcome to. We got open spots tonight.
Yeah, I'm interested in how that interview went the other day, my brother.
Let Jeremy know he can send you the link, or I can. Jeremy's a little bit quicker though because he knows how to get a hold of you directly.
Yes, I do.
That's up to you though. I figured I'd just throw it out there. So if you guys are Jeremy, let's just say, obviously you think your team's not done. So you're the manager, you're the GM right now. Who are you buying on? Like, who would you try to bring in and move around? What would you try and do for this team to save?
For my team, I would almost, because it's the last year, and I know it would hurt the cap wise this year, but I literally would try to trade Gleyber Torres away to put Cole Keith permanently at his home spot of second base, where he started to play well his rookie season. We bounced him around. We don't allow him to hit every day versus all the pitchers. Make him a full-time second baseman.
So that'd be one of your big moves, bringing up Keith or keeping Keith on the field. How about that?
Yes, 100%.
Are there any dead spots that you think you could make a trade for to say, hey, this might help boost the team? What yeah, I'm being a difficult host right now, I guess.
Like I said, I would get rid of Gleyber and I would bring in prospects for him. That's all I would bring in, 1 or 2 prospects. I want somebody in the top 50 of the organization. I don't want a bottom bleeder. I want somebody more than likely AAA or AA that would have a chance to come up sooner.
Jay's like playing corn, like in the outfield there. He's got the door opening, like walking through the cornfield out there.
I'm just trying to get my damn dogs out of the room. They're a freaking nuisance, man.
All right, so Jeremy would make a trade for a couple prospects that are MLB ready almost. You want them to be here next year, though, Jeremy, or do you want them now?
I want them in the next 2 years because of what's going on with the looming lockout. I don't want them this year. I don't want somebody that's going to come to the roster. You're clearing cap. You're making, Gleyber Torres is making like almost $20 million as a second baseman. Cole Keith makes $9 million a year his next 3 years. Why not let him play where you put him?
Do you guys both think the lockout is gonna mess up this trade deadline?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the bigger players will not move, especially with expiring contracts. That's why I've been on the whole Scooble's not going to move anytime soon. If he moves, it's going to be trade deadline day of August 3rd. Jeff
Yep.
Passan of ESPN said it best. August 3rd is Scooble deadline. That's the only name that matters because everybody else is secondary to that.
Yeah, I agree. And simply because whenever a new collective bargaining agreement is agreed upon, whether it's at the end of this year or the end of next year or whatever, any player that you trade for and their contract, whether there's club control on it or not, is going to have to be grandfathered in and then subsequently restructured into a new collective bargaining agreement. And general managers and team presidents aren't going to want to have to deal with that headache. So, like Jeremy said, expect some expiring contracts to get moved, a couple of maybe mid-tier veteran players who have maybe just 1 year left on their deal or who are going to be maybe arbitration eligible coming up in the next year. You're going to see a lot of the mid-tier and lower tier guys move. So yeah, it's going to affect everyone across the board.
Do you guys both think there's going to be a lockout?
Yes.
100%.
Yes, without a doubt. Adam, it's a shame because everything I've read shows that so far the players have exchanged their proposal and their offer. The owners have exchanged their proposal and their offer. And right now, neither side even wants to listen. Whenever the owners present theirs, the players say, forget it, it's dog shit. No, we're not going to take it. And subsequently, when the players deliver theirs to the owners say, forget it, it's dog shit, we're not going to take it. And that's
so what if we just settled on a floor? Would that help the cause?
No. 22 teams want a cap. That's where we're at. So
22 team owners want a cap.
Yeah, 22 team
players.
owners want a cap. 100% of the players do not want a cap because they want a chance to get deferred and play for the evil empire that is the Dodgers or the Yankees.
Or the Red Sox or
the Red Sox are in the bottom too. They're not up there anymore.
They're at what, 278? They're at what, 328 or something, aren't they?
No, that's with all of their leftover shit. Their actual they are right at that cusp of actual lockout, the floor of 175.8.
And this what Jeremy said, Adam, just kind of hits the nail on the head with the distrust that exists right now between the owners and the players, because a salary floor would make just as much sense as a salary cap, if not more, and it would be a good in between middle ground for these both sides to meet. But the bottom line is that still the players do not trust the owners, even with a salary floor. I mean, the owners could come out and they could offer. The owners could come out and offer a 20% discount on a salary floor, and the players still wouldn't accept it because there's still just too much distrust. So yes, 110%, unfortunately, there will be a lockout next year.
What if they put like no more deferred payment, which would make Jeremy very happy?
They already have that in there. That's what they're saying. They're saying there will be no more deferred payment contract.
What if they lowered the floor to like 110 and they made the max like 500?
Then right now, the only team that would be above that out of the bottom 13 teams is the Milwaukee Brewers.
The Pirates are over 100.
Not over 110.
Oh, what are we at? 106.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're looking at it right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I've been looking at it.
Do you want to read off the 13 that would be under that?
I will actually get it printed up for me again.
Oh, I thought you had it memorized. With the way you were looking at it, I was like, you got it memorized.
I used to. We all know that the bottom of it is the Marlins. Then you got the Rays. You got the Braves. Those are the guys that's the three lowest payrolls in baseball right now.
And I figured with Ronald Acuna, that would be a higher rate.
It's not.
And who Ozzy Albies? Oh my gosh, Albies. So like the law, so that went down, like the loss of Freeman, the loss of. Oh, Jay, what are you hearing about this out there on Dodgerland? Like, is it the same thing? Like people or the players saying the same thing that Jeremy just said and all that, vice versa? Or your owners are probably on the same page as the players, right?
The owners are on the same page as the players overall. I think of all the teams that stand to be affected the most by whatever happens and when it happens, obviously is the Dodgers because they have the most deferred contracts of any team on their payroll. And so when you do agree to a new CBA, you are going to have to restructure. You're going to have to grandfather in the current deferred payment deals. And then when you do that, you're going to have to restructure them. So the Dodgers could potentially lose anywhere between $335 to $450 million in restructured deferred contracts anyway. So if and when that new CBA does happen, but the Dodgers don't. I think the Dodgers don't seem as affected by it because they still have $1 billion of revenue stream coming in, and I'm not talking about just ticket sales and merchandise. I'm talking about that TV deal that they have, which garners them over $3.5 billion per year. And that media deal is going to last all the way through 2045. 2035. So that deal is not due to be renegotiated for quite some time. So the Dodgers feel like they're in a comfortable place, but also, Adam, while they're saying bits and pieces about what this could mean for them, ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, they're not opening their mouths quite yet. Because, again, they like to do everything behind closed doors. Andrew Friedman likes to keep everything close to the vest. And he always tells his people, you shut up unless I tell you to talk first.
So what if this comes up? Like, obviously, Jay, right now, your payroll is at what, 400?
Just a shade over 420 million, I think, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I got every team under 130 million right now that you wanted. Starting at there's 11 teams under there. Cincinnati Reds 128, Colorado Rockies 122, Minnesota Twins 107, Pittsburgh Pirates 107, Cardinals 99, Nationals 96, Athletics 95, White Sox 88. Tampa Bay Rays, 87. Cleveland Guardians are second to worst at 85. And the Marlins are the worst in the league with a 74 million payroll.
That's
the
funny.
Braves,
5 of those bottom teams are all at the top of the league.
Yeah, Oakland, White Sox, Rays, Guardians.
Yeah, right. Yep. So what?
And then the Braves are at 131. And the Milwaukee Brewers are at 135.
So what would happen if this goes into effect? All of a sudden, deferred payments are gone, and they have to pay Shohei like everything from the contract that's on there till now, like when the strike happens. And they come back, and all of a sudden, that contract doesn't fit anything else approved. Are they going to have to make him a free agent?
Yes, and not just him, but all the other guys.
Obviously, Shohei's the main example.
Kyle Tucker.
What's
the other one?
Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is on a deferred contract. Kyle Tucker. Let's see who else is on a deferred deal. Not Edwin Diaz. Not Blake Snell. A couple of other guys too. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Adam. That would make them free agents. Which
Yashimoto.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Thanks, I forgot about him. So, they would essentially be negotiating with these guys as if they were free agents again. Because you're right, those previous salaries would drop off the table, and that would mean that they would be free to negotiate again. So that would be
that'd be fun if they all signed with the Dodgers for really, really cheap.
Yep. I mean, it would be a wild circus to say the least. Ultimately, in the long run, I think they would end up finding a way to stay with the Dodgers because I don't think any other team would want to touch them at that point. But what
if they came back for like really cheap contracts? Like they signed really cheap contracts and said, "Hey, we just got these deferred payment paid, and we're just going to play."
Here's the thing: the teams that would have the money to afford somebody like Yoshi right off the rip. Your team's one of them. The Marlins is one of them. The Rays are one of them. The Chicago White Sox are one of them. The Nationals are one of them. And the Cardinals. Everybody above 100 would have to think about it because they got to be able to.
I was just saying, Jeremy, if they came back and played like for really cheap money, just to piss off everybody.
And they could, but would they?
What's up, Megan? How you doing?
Megan.
I think they would. First of all, the Dodgers aren't an organization that likes to gloat, even though there's that public perception that they do. But yeah, just because everyone is accusing the Dodgers of having destroyed the modern economical system of Major League Baseball, which is a comedic farce. I got news for everyone out there. This current CBA was already fractured way before the Dodgers started spending a plethora of deferred contracts. The Dodgers, what makes them stand out from everybody else is that, yeah, did they corner the market on the best players available? You bet your bottom dollar they did. But I think, Adam, it would be ironic if the Dodgers, for argument's sake, did that, because then they could shove it in everybody else's faces and say, here, how do you like the big multi-billion-dollar spending now? Suck on it, everybody. So, yeah, I could see Stan Kasten and Andrew Friedman sticking it to everybody that way, even though, at least to the fan base, they never present themselves or their organization in that manner.
And just because we have an Aussie in the house, we do have, I believe we have one player this year in the College Baseball World Series from Australia again.
Nice. Ole, 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 ole.
Ole, ole, ole.
And Travis Pisano was #1 overall a couple years ago from Australia, obviously. Won it in Oregon State.
And he's on the All-Star ballot, baby. Woohoo!
Should be on the rookie. He's on the Rookie of the Year ballot, too.
He is. Yes, he is.
That race is pretty close, huh? So that race is pretty close still.
Yep, I think it's going to be close, probably until the last month and a half of the season. Someone eventually is going to outdistance the other. I don't know who it's going to be yet.
I hope they base it on performance this year and not how the team finishes. Because obviously Kevin McGonigal is on fire still. And he's playing lights out, but the team's not doing real great yet. Obviously, it's early, and I'm not going to start bragging because we saw what happened last year, that whenever the Tigers fell apart and all of a sudden 15.5 back come the Storm and Norman Guardians and take over the division. They still lost in the first round. Jeremy still rubs it in my face. But
why wouldn't I? What team beat you then?
Well, but at least we got to raise the pennant, so I'll take a pennant over losing in the first round, I guess. Not really, but at least the season has something to show for it. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not over yet. Obviously, it's now with Ramirez going down for a little bit, maybe 6 to 8 weeks from what I'm hearing. So if anyone makes a move to pick up a third baseman, it could be the Guardians.
Yeah, definitely. Those hamate bones, man. I hate those hamate bone injuries. Those.
And this is where losing Rocchio and Clement comes into mad question. Like, why did we let him go? But Brian Rocchio is playing at lights out at short right now. That catch he made last night, where he ran all the way in the left field. Anyone see that?
Yep.
Cut it over his shoulder out. That was an awesome catch.
And Ernie Clement, I should add, is having one of the best overall offensive seasons this year in all of Major League Baseball. He's still batting .307, .308 this year. His OPS is close to .889, .890. So
isn't he still carrying the playoff record too with a hit in every game?
Yeah. Yes, he is. Yeah.
That's a crazy stat right there.
Yep. Yeah. Ernie Clement, dude. I gained so much respect for that guy last year. Not that I didn't have respect for him before, but
what if he won? What if he possibly won MVP last, or the playoff MVP last year if they would have won?
If the Blue Jays had won, I would have voted for Clement as MVP. Yes.
What about you, Jerm?
Who was that?
Ernie Clement for the Blue Jays.
He had a hit in every game in the playoff last year. I think it was like 23 straight games.
Yep.
Welcome to the chat, boys and girls. Welcome to the chat. The Yinzer's in the house. Megan's in the house. MDE's in the house.
It's a great night.
But yeah, I was just curious on your thoughts on that because that was running through my head.
I would have voted for him. I mean, he, like you said, he had a hit in every game of the playoffs. The one guy that was leading it for Seattle fell apart the last two games. This is the only. It was crazy. You're towards the
Rodriguez?
end. Yeah.
He was rookie of the year 2 years ago, right?
Right.
Yep.
Anyway, so Jeremy, how long before you think, like, obviously you guys are getting healthy again? Riley Green was starting to get on fire. Do you feel the run's coming, or does it just keep dying out? Because, like I said earlier, it just seems they're hitting the shit out of the ball is just right at people.
Well, Torkelson doesn't have the same bat speed that he had last year. If you look, it's about 3 miles an hour less. So therefore, the launch angle hasn't been right because he's swinging slightly slower than last year. I'm wondering if he has a lingering injury coming up, like something, because the 1 year that he got sent down was after his oblique got strained. I'm wondering if it's starting to bother him again.
Dylan, how are you, sir? I saw you pop in earlier and then you left. So what do you think it is? What kind of injury? Something in the forearm?
I think it's an oblique again. Not able to twist as fast, which we all know that the bat power not only comes from the speed of your arms, but that rotation of the hips, which if your oblique is strained and it's causing him issues, he would have to take some of that hip rotation out.
Do you feel there's more oblique injuries this year because everyone's trying to swing for the damn fences?
Yes.
Yes. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I agree with that statement. I don't think it's solely responsible for all of the upticks in oblique injuries, but Mookie injured his oblique earlier in the year doing one of his check swings. While while anyone can injure their oblique during a check swing, Mookie was going around as if he was getting ready to slug one out of the park. So yeah, I do think that all these check swings and everyone just focusing at them on the metrics of hitting, not the instruction, but the analytics of hitting, i.e. launch angle and exit velocity, it's putting more pressure. And I've had oblique injuries. When I played ball when I was in high school, I had an oblique injury that never really fully left me in my junior year of high school. And I can remember like 6 months after our baseball season was over with, I was still dealing with that damn oblique injury. So it's just one of those things where they're either going to continue to linger or they're going to get worse depending on how they're treated and how you treat them. But yeah, I do think that can be a cause of the uptick in all these injuries.
So this goes to both of you guys. How long before they actually start looking at analytics and go, why are our guys getting injured so much? Do you feel they'll ever look at that?
No,
probably not.
No. I mean, the only way they will look at the analytics and decide to change something is if the ball starts flying out of the yard 3 times faster at the rate that it's doing right now. I.e., they're going to say, oh, hey, wow, we're seeing more home runs hit. Let's look at the launch angle and exit velocity more. Just to preserve players' health? No way. They'll never do that, and they'll never admit it. I'm sure behind closed doors, their trainers probably tell the GMs and the managers, hey, look, guys, we're something's going on here. But, I mean, let's not forget, this is sports entertainment. It is a business. The stars put butts in the seats. They're the reasons why we purchase their jerseys with their names on the back. And these teams pay money to have these guys on the field. They don't want their training staffs dictating to them who needs to be on the field every third or fourth day.
Absolutely.
Wasn't there a movie about this?
Moneyball, maybe? I don't know. No.
I was thinking that one. I don't know why.
Yeah, he actually did get into the analytics of it because remember he let the one first baseman go that he said was prone to injury. Wasn't that Jason Giambi? He goes, you're due for another injury. I don't want you here when it happens. I'm sorry, you're gone.
And then they were trying to make up for 38 home runs and 120 RBIs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what was that? The 88 team?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
88. Yeah. 88 or
They were
88.
trying to bring in David Justice and two other guys. I don't remember the other names, but they're like, we got to make up for 38 home runs and 120 RBIs. I think they were the first ones to really look. If that's how they really did it, they really looked at analytics first.
Well, yeah, and even before then, a guy named Bill James wrote something called a Baseball Prospectus. This was back in 1978, and James was really the first one to apply analytics and analytical statistics to the success of a Major League Baseball team. So then you fast forward to what Billy Beane did with the A's. The ironic thing about analytics, guys, is that when Billy Beane first started it, he did it as a way to just build the team, not to dictate the way they play on the field. He did it because he knew that, and I read the book too. The book goes more into detail about this than the movie does. But Billy Beane believed in the philosophy. He was ahead of Andrew Friedman, where he believed, hey, quantity over quality is going to help us win ball games. And he measured that quantity in analytics. And it didn't start trickling over into play in the field until the A's started their little run of division championships and playoff appearances in the early 2000s. Also, guys, look at the Atlanta Braves of the 1990s. They also utilized analytics to an extent. Stan Kasten, who is the Dodgers team president now, was one of the principal architects of that Braves team. And to some extent, the Braves also used analytics to build their teams, their dynasty up in the 90s when they got guys like Glavine and Maddox and Smoltz and Steve Avery. Of those pitchers, Smoltz was the only guy who was busting 98, 99 miles per hour. Greg Maddox, not a speed pitcher. Tom Glavine, not a speed pitcher. Steve Avery, not a speed pitcher. So the Braves also used analytics to an extent, but
they were all dangerous pitchers. The fuck they were.
Yeah, exactly. The Braves, one of the greatest starting rotations ever assembled in the history of Major League Baseball. And you can stack them up there with the Oakland Athletics of the 70s, with the Yankees from 20.
Who was their five?
And the 84 Tigers. You can stack them up with the 84 Tigers.
Can? Yep. I'm sorry, Adam. What?
You faced them more than me because they were in your division then.
Yep.
Who was their five?
Well, you had your five were Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, Greg Maddox, Steve Avery. They also had a guy named Pete Smith, and then their fifth guy was not Kevin. He came along much later. I was going to say, not Kevin McBride. What's his name again? He won 20 games for him a couple times, but I remember four of the five.
Do you know?
No,
I cannot remember his name.
Yeah, Pete Smith, Steve Avery, John Smoltz, Greg Maddox, and Tom Glavine were at least four of the five that I remember off the top of my head.
Because if I remember right, the fifth guy got hurt, and they actually had to call somebody up from the farm system to help them to solidify that rotation. And that's why the name eludes us. It wasn't the same guy all season.
Right.
I don't know anything about MD's comment, so I'm going to stay quiet on that. Dude. I don't know anything about the 70s Orioles.
Oh, he's talking
Kevin
about
Millwood. That might have been it.
Kevin Millwood. That's who I was thinking of. Kevin Millwood. Thank you very much.
Right. Pete Smith was the guy that got hurt midway through the season, and Millwood was the one that rounded out the rotation the rest of the year and through the playoffs.
And then the Braves also had a guy, a really good left-handed pitcher by the name of Denny Nagel. And Denny Nagel won 20 games for them. I think two out of 3 seasons he was a 20-game winner. And Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Denny Nagel actually came up in the Pirates organization. And the Pirates ended up flipping him for somebody else. But, they had Nagel too. So he was a mainstay of that rotation for a while.
I don't know. I'm going to find out.
Yeah, here, I'm going to take a look as well. Anyway, hey, glad to have all you guys in here right now. It's great. Yeah, amazing. Kevin Millwood. Thank you so much, MD.
Nagel was a Pirate.
Nagel was a Pirate. Okay, I was right. So my memory serves me correct.
Hey, better than mine. Because, if it wasn't that for that era, all I remember is we got Doyle Alexander for John Smoltz, and I would still hate it.
We got Jason Schmidt out of that deal.
Oh, that's right. You did. Yep.
And Ron Wright and Corey Pointer.
Yep.
Obviously, the Pirates, I don't know. The Jason Schmidt panned out okay, but Danny Nagel obviously had a pretty good career.
And,
but I mean, that helped that he was in Atlanta.
Yeah. And Denny Nagel won the World Series with the Yankees in 2000, and that was at the tail end of his career. So, yay, Denny. Denny was actually really good. He was a really crafty left-handed pitcher. He had one of those big swooping overhand deliveries, and he just had a knuckle curve that just buckled you up at the knees if you weren't expecting it.
The knuckle curve is slowly becoming a rarer pitch than it used to be, because a lot of people are not teaching that knuckleball on how to hold it, because when you rotate to get the curve, it's actually putting more torque on their wrist than speed. And that torque is what leads to UCLs.
Forearm injuries.
The only one that could throw a good knuckleball was Tim Wakefield.
Charlie Huff. Yep.
J.A. Happ.
I was going to say Chipper Jones, but if we're only talking pitchers, MDE, yeah, you're right. But Chipper Jones was all homegrown.
Yep.
I think he played at Georgia Tech, right?
Yes, I think he did.
Or did he play at Georgia? I get him confused.
I think he was a Yellow Jacket. I think you were right the first time.
We got some names up there that we haven't heard in a while. Phil Niekro,
Gaylord Perry. Gaylord Perry was one of my favorite pitchers growing up. He was one of the few to hit that 3,000 strikeouts thing, and I believe that was 1982 when he got it.
Well, Jeremy, I remember a guy that used to pitch for the Detroit Tigers in the late 90s, early 2000s by the name of Steve Sparks, who also threw a pretty darn good knuckleball.
Oh, and that thing danced.
Yes, it did. Yes, and then, of course, most recently, R.A. Dickey, who pitched for the Mets and the Blue Jays. He pitched for the Mets in the 2015 World Series. He had a pretty good knuckleball too. So, yay, R.A. Dickey. What were you going to say, Adam?
It would be funnier if his first name was if his last name was reversed and it was U.R. Dickey.
Yep. Hoyt Wilhelm. Hoyt Wilhelm is in the Hall of Fame. Good toss out there. And yes, MDE, Dickey did win a Cy Young Award. I think he won 21 games throwing that knuckleball. So I think you might be right.
Did Tim Wakefield ever win a Cy Young with that knuckleball, or was he in the wrong era?
He was in the wrong era.
Yeah, he was in the wrong era. Wakefield, as good as he was, never won a Cy Young Award.
I mean, didn't Drabak win 21 games one year too, and still didn't win the Cy Young? All because of that Braves starting rotation?
Yeah, I believe you're right.
But I mean, that Game 7 will always be remembered for noise.
I know.
And we don't realize how good we had it, boys.
Oh, no. We were in the golden age of baseball back then. I loved baseball more than I did football back then. That strike, the one that locked everybody out. I love
Jamie, but Jeremy, we got into it with Jamie that one night where he just didn't understand. Like when the strike happened, baseball didn't come back for 3 to 4 years.
Where it was closer to 5, if I remember right.
Yep.
And it was all because of the steroid thing, and Major League Baseball never stopped it.
Nope. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the game. It's funny you bring that up, Adam, because I was watching the Dodgers the other night with my daughter, and my daughter plays softball, which obviously we know applies the same tenets as baseball, but is played entirely differently. But where I'm going with this is when we were watching the game, my daughter said to me, "Dad, is this how baseball has always been played, where guys strike out all the time and everything?" I'm like, no. I said there was once a grand glorious time, Annabelle, where you had 11, 12, 13 guys bat over 300 for an entire season. I told her the Dodgers haven't always been known for this type of baseball. In the 1970s, they had the premier infield with Steve Garvey and Davey Lopes and Bill Russell and Ron Cey.
And one of your pitchers back then was Steve Sachs, and there was Steve Holmes.
Yeah. Don't get me going on Steve Sachs, man. But and also too, I've showed her some YouTube clips of some old baseball games. In fact, I showed her one of the '79 We Are Family Pirates team, where I think the Pirates were playing against the Reds, if I'm not mistaken, and Willie Stargell tattooed a Raleigh Eastwick fastball at
You
Riverfront
sure it wasn't the
Stadium.
Phillies where he hit the seats and they had to mark the seat with a star
Yeah, it might have
and
been,
the old
but
vet?
yeah, but where I'm going with it is I told my daughter this is what baseball used to be about. This is what made the game so great is that you had a style. You had guys who it's hard to explain because of the fact that we were watching a much different game now. So
Did she
and when my
understand it?
she well she didn't like the Pirates uniforms that Willie Stargell was wearing, but yeah, she understood it. And
I figured she would have cared about the look. I wasn't a fan. I'm not a big fan of that star hat crap. I
yeah,
have
right, no
one, but
kidding.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, well, she was actually amazed that baseball has been around that long. And I told her, "Oh, it's been around longer than that." I told her you have
There
to go all the way back to
there
the
was
end
some
of the
footage
Civil
from like
War.
1918 and shit, like Babe Ruth taking
Yeah,
batting practice. I mean,
yeah,
that's all those scenes are slowly coming out and about.
yeah. So I think yeah, you're right. We were spoiled back then, and there are a lot of times where I sit back and reminisce of the days when Jack Morris would throw a complete game, shutout, 1-0 victories in the World Series, and I miss the days when Kirby Puckett would just tattoo sliders and fastballs off that tarp at the old Metrodome, and it's just it was just a better product back then, and guys actually played because they played. They're not playing because they play now. They're playing because obviously the money is there. Which, hey, you can't blame them. If I was in their situation, I'd probably be doing the same thing. So I'm a bit of a hypocrite. So please forgive me.
Or Cecil Fielder hitting it out of Detroit Park.
Yep, Cecil Fielder hitting it out of Tiger Stadium. Yep, you're right.
Oh, Cecil, that was the 91 season. I remember that. He
Yep.
cranked
He
that sucker.
launched that
That
ball,
was the
man.
year that
Jeez.
he hit 51 home runs for the Tigers. And
Yep.
we still couldn't get in the playoffs
That's
because
'cause
we
it was
had
a
that bum Frank Tanana.
That's because it was a two. That's because it was a two series one, East and West. Then they played each other.
Yep. And of course, I still have fond memories of the greatest no-hitter ever thrown in Major League Baseball history. Hideo Nomo against the Colorado Rockies, 1996 at Coors Field. No no-hitter has ever been thrown since then in that ballpark, and no no-hitter will ever be tossed in that ballpark since then. Greatest no-hitter thrown. That's up for debate, obviously, but that's just my opinion.
Man, it's amazing some of the stuff we got to see. And I talked about this the other day. Out of his 120 home runs he had in his career and almost 300 batting average. Big hint here because I'm not going to talk about any other things he had. Who had the most leadoff pitch home runs?
Who had the most leadoff pitch home runs?
First pitch.
Ricky Anderson.
Yep. You did remember. Good for you, Adam. 68 in his career out of 120 home runs were first pitch home runs.
Greatest
I'd
leadoff
listen,
hitter?
Jeremy. I'd listen to you, believe it or not.
68. Think about that. He only hit 120 in his career, but 68 of them were on the first pitch he faced.
Greatest leadoff hitter in the history of the game.
That and what, the stolen base leader forever, because I don't think anybody will play long enough to get as many as him.
Nope, I agree. Yep.
Well, bigger, stronger, faster does not always equal longevity. We
No,
see it in football. We see it in baseball. We've seen it in every sport. The bigger, stronger, faster doesn't always equal that your think about it. Our muscles are getting more dense. We're getting bigger, but the bones don't get any more dense. The ligaments still stretch the same way. They still twist the same way. That's what's going on. We're putting so much more torque and stress on these ligaments. I was at that game for Tampa Bay when that guy snapped his arm.
Oof.
I thought somebody threw a pitch and broke a bat. That's what it sounded like.
You know, Jeremy, I still have very, very faint memories of when the San Francisco Giants played the Montreal Expos, I think 1989, 1990. And Dave Trevecki, the left-handed pitcher, reared back, wound up and delivered. And not only could I still remember seeing Trevecki's left arm go in like 6 different directions, but you could hear his elbow just completely snap in Olympic Stadium. And of course, we all know what ended up happening to Trevecki after that. He ended up having to have his whole left arm up to the shoulder amputated because he had a cancerous tumor that applied pressure on both his bone, his nerve, and his blood, or his ligaments. So I still remember that sound, just hearing that.
So
arm
was that
snap.
blessing that they found the cancer now?
I'm sorry?
Well, yes, 100%. Because
I said, was that a blessing that they found? Go ahead, Jeremy.
If they weren't doing what they were doing at the time, they wouldn't have caught it because it wasn't enough that it like showed it was an internal type of tumor. So think about that. If that guy wouldn't have snapped his elbow the way he did, where the arm bent so with all the torque, he might have passed away of that cancer.
Yep.
Because
No,
cancer discovery was nowhere near an exact science back then like it is now.
Yeah.
I was just curious, like, even if the arm would have just snapped a little bit, would have been able to fix it and then get in there and still do the work? Or because I mean,
no, because
by the way that thing was flopping around, like it was already torn out of place. Like it seems like the cancer ball got in there and just ripped everything out, and then he just finally threw it, and everything just
blew
yes,
like a grenade.
It was all the pressure of that inside is what caused the shoulder separation during that pitch. But the elbow stuff was totally separate at the time. But it might have been an mitigating circumstance to why it happened the way it did. You know what? You understand what I'm saying there, Jason?
Yeah, I got you. And I remember reading an autobiography that Trevecki wrote a few years after he lost his arm. And I remember him saying that the cancerous tumor had actually already grown full mast on the nerves and on portions of the bone. So even if his elbow hadn't snapped, he would have had to have retired anyway, because at that time there was no surgical procedure around that could have removed the tumor while still allowing Trevecki to play. So even if he had been able to keep the arm at him, he would have had to retire anyway at a fairly young age, because he was still in his late 20s, I think, when that happened to him, or early 30s, because he also pitched for the Padres in the '84 World Series against Jeremy's Detroit Tigers. So he had already been in baseball for quite some time when this injury happened to him.
So he didn't die of cancer, right?
No. In fact, Trevecki is still alive. He does a lot of motivational speaking now, and the Giants still bring him back to Oracle Park on occasion to, throw out ceremonial first pitches with his right arm, of course, because he was a lefty. And he still does a lot of autograph signings and speaks to a lot of schools about just perseverance and about just overcoming obstacles, overcoming odds. He's also worked with a lot of Christian charities. He's worked with a lot of special kids charities. He's done a lot of work with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He's a good human being. He's one of the best humans we have on this planet. God bless Dave Trevecki, man.
Do you think he starts out and says, "I literally threw cancer away"?
Well, you know what? In his autobiography, at one point,
like when he stepped on stage with no arm.
Yeah, well, he was very.
I literally threw cancer away.
Yeah, well, yeah, and he also was very transparent when he said, "Look, how am I going to live life? I lost my entire arm up to the shoulder blade. How am I going to live my life?" And it took a lot of people in Trevecki's village to tell him, "Look, you're not playing baseball anymore. You've lost the ability to play the sports you love, but you haven't lost your life. And yeah, you lost an arm, but you know what? There are so many other people like you who have lost limbs either to illness or because they've served our country in foreign wars, and they are finding a way to persevere." And it was at that point when Trevecki really had to dig down deep inside to find his Christianity again and to really find what was going to guide him the most. And if he did not have his wife and his family around him, he probably would have done a half gainer off the Golden Gate Bridge.
That's a high
Oh, yeah.
bridge.
Yeah, he's a very inspirational guy, but yeah, he's still alive and still does stuff for the Giants on occasion as far as public appearances.
Jay, have you ever been to Alcatraz or driven over the Golden Gate Bridge since you live out that way?
I have several times, many times.
I was just curious. That like we know how people live by the beach and barely go. I was just...
Oh yeah. No, I have my wife has some family that live up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and so we go up there, not as much as we used to, but we'll still make a trek up there every now and then. It's only about a 3.5 hour drive for me from Fresno, so it's not that far.
And it's on the California roadway, so you fly.
Yeah, well, it depends on the time of day when you fly.
Cool. MD, I knew he was gonna say that. MD, I was reading your mind. I was reading your mind on that one.
Who was the pitcher, Daniel, whatever, that we got from Toronto that lived in a van down by the river in Detroit? Do you guys remember that a couple of years ago? It came out that he was staying in his van because he couldn't find a place that he could afford right away.
No, I remember Rod Beck used to live in an RV, but I don't remember that guy.
Oh,
We need more cowbell.
Yeah, right.
What we need is more cowbell.
That might have been one of Will Ferrell's favorite skits. Since MDE got me started on the SNL skits. I don't think anyone realizes the deep thoughts with Jack Handy. Jeremy knows. Oh man, that was before all the political bullshit
Daniel
started.
Norris, that's who it was. Yeah, he lived in a Volkswagen van. In other words, the magic bus that ended up being the mystery van of Scooby-Doo, because that's what it was based off of, was the Volkswagen cargo van.
I love it.
He kept the van lifestyle even after joining the Detroit Tigers, parking near beaches or campgrounds in the offseason. Norris said it helped him stay grounded and focused, calling it his way to keep life simple.
Well, he could get a shower at the clubhouse and
if it got really bad, he probably just stayed at a hotel for the night, like during the major storms and stuff like that.
Or he needed to get it inspected, or probably cheaper.
So think about it.
I mean, back then the salaries weren't like nothing like they are today.
Nope, it wasn't that long ago. Daniel Norris played for us in between when Verlander left and before AJ Hinch. So it wasn't that long ago.
All right, we're going to end on parting shots, guys. Just like Jay, I'm stealing your segment, but I want both of you guys to give a parting shot, and then we're going to get out of here because we've been over an hour. And Jeremy probably needs a smoke.
More than that. But anyways,
I just said a smoke, Jeremy. I was just leaving it there, buddy. I don't know what else.
Anyways,
need, right? I'm way over here. Anyway,
we tore the cover off the ball to start this month, going 7-2, and then fell apart versus Cleveland, and the bats just went quiet. And what's happening now, I don't know. I got to look it up because my phone died while we were live. We're still up 6-3 in the bottom of the 6th. So the bats are awake today. Let's see who's got the home runs. We've had 3 home runs.
Can I say some breaking
Oh
news?
my goodness. Hits Kevin McGonigal. Spencer got a home run, and Cole Keith has 3 RBIs. We were facing a right-handed pitcher. Hallelujah. But Kevin McGonigal is 2 for 2 with an RBI, and he's also walked twice.
See, there's that rookie of the year conversation. But Steve Sarkison is reporting right now that Arch Manning is planning on playing the 2027 season at Texas.
Good choice. Good decision.
So he won't. I would stay. He's making $5 million a year to play college ball.
All right, no kidding. I'm going to give my parting shot.
Yeah.
I'm going to give my parting shot tonight in the realm of college football. I'm sure you guys have been keeping track of the Brendan Sorsby fiasco that's been happening. Jeremy, you know what
I
I'm
have
talking
breaking
about.
news. I have breaking news. He is entering the supplemental draft because he lost his appeal. Hallelujah.
That's going to be my parting shot.
Is that what's going on? I keep seeing this all day. Fill me in real quick, boys. Because maybe we do have out of the listeners we have tonight. Maybe they don't know what's going on.
Brandon Sorsby won is the injunction a couple weeks ago to return to Texas Tech to play. The problem is the NCAA immediately applied for an appeal, and all of the top teams in their division said, take him off of our schedule. We don't want to play him if he's their quarterback. So it was a local judge.
So
he will now. He didn't hire an agent because he was already in trouble with the NCAA for the gambling, because he didn't just gamble on other sports. He gambled on his sports, and namely his team, not only to win, but he also gambled last season for them to lose.
So what happened was the NCAA denied his request for reinstatement back in May, but there was a Texas judge that granted him a temporary injunction in early June, which made him eligible for the 2026 college football season. But like Jeremy also said, that Big 12 lawsuit against Texas Tech essentially put a kibosh on Sorsby returning, and then Texas Tech subsequently bringing him back. So as a result, Sorsby has now decided to enter the NFL supplemental draft, which we haven't had one since the 2023 season. And my parting shot simply is going to be on this. Brendan Sorsby right now, this is a kid that is damaged goods. Not only was I extremely disappointed with the way that the federal government and the NCAA and Texas Tech handled his situation, but now I'm just utterly appalled that this kid who violated the trust of his team, his coaches, his instructors while at college, he let everybody down. And he now thinks that going into the NFL supplemental draft is just going to magically make this thing disappear. Wrong. And so I simply have this piece of advice to any team that will sign him in the supplemental draft. Make sure you have eyes on him like a hawk, because the minute he goes to an NFL team, this guy is going to be calling up 30 or 40 bookies a day, placing bets on his team and everyone else's team to win or lose games. So let Brendan Sorsby be the example that the rich are never intent with being rich. They have to get wealthier. And as long as we have gambling in professional sports, as long as we have gambling in college sports, nothing is going to change. And why? Because the people don't want it to change, because it makes money. So Brendan Sorsby, you are a piece of shit, but good luck to you anyway for tucking tail between your legs and running away from punishment. If this was me who got busted for something like this, I'd be up in Folsom Prison right now getting butt fucked by a guy named Big Blue. So congratulations to you.
Buffalo Bob.
That's all I got to say on my parting shot. Aside from that, guys, it's been a pleasure again. Take care of yourselves. God bless. And I look forward to being back on again.
You gonna leave when I pop up? Where's she going?
We were getting ready to get out of here. You waited too long. We're getting out of here. We've been here an hour and 10 minutes.
I just got done doing a show, and I wanted to see if Papa J was going to pop in.
He's at work. He just texted me. He said he'll pop in on the next one.
I just finished my show. I mean, we finally previewed the season because I forgot about it 2 weeks ago, and we finally did it. And if the weather don't be in effect, I'm going to go to another game Wednesday night. That's why I moved my shit to Thursdays to support our Texas collegiate team. So, yeah, I
Don't
talked with
forget-
our on-field hosts.
Before I
What's
pop
up?
out, don't forget that Wednesday night, it is the AFC and NFC South preview.
Ooh, look at
Marky
that.
Mark.
Nice. And so, do you need me to
9:30
pop?
PM.
Do I, okay.
Yes, I need
I'll-
a Saints fan.
What day is this?
Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m.
Ooh, you might catch me at the ballpark doing that.
Okay. If you know of one that wants to be on, pass the message forward.
I know a
How's
guy,
that?
but I know a guy. Oh, I know a guy, but I'm gonna see if he can respond back because he's been so busy with his show. I can call up Come On It's Sports. They get our
So-
Saints guy Jordan.
Marky Mark, you watched the same thing Adam did. Rivori came in here and told us that Miss Melania Trump went into the ring and shook a guy's hand and had a long conversation during the UFC match last night.
She didn't leave her seat.
That was a hell of a night last night.
No,
We
but
will
did
never
that
get nothing
happen,
like that.
or is it AI like we told Rivori?
It was AI.
Yeah.
The only thing that wasn't AI was
We already talked
Hokick
about this
saying Michelle
off
Obama
the
was
air.
a man. That was the only thing that was real.
I gave my opinion on that too, but I'm going to say make sure you check out all of our channels. You know, you got Dirty South Entertainment above me. You got Ad McNally. They're both a part of Driving to the Top Productions. And of course, my channel, which is the KCB Sports Network, where I send all my stuff live. Whenever, even when I'm a guest to my channel, I also have it going to my Twitter, which is Jeremy Ballrick at Smokin' Jeremy. Follow, like, share, subscribe. We need you. 734 today.
And Adam,
It's a beautiful thing.
237 views on y'all's YouTube channel as of right now. Mine 101, but we had 185 eyesights live when we were at the main event.
I had 460 on my Twitter last I looked.
You had 460 on your X. I had 179 on my X. It's like we're almost at 1,000. And I promoted this shit for 2 months. And starting Thursday, I'm gonna promote the next one for Conor McGregor and Max Holloway.
Jeremy, you joining us for that? Because apparently we drink and have a good time.
You can smoke
Which
your
one?
cigarette. 329 McGregor Holloway 2 on July 11th.
What is that going on? What is going on?
Conor
The
McGregor's
UFC
fighting.
thing? Is
Yeah.
that a Saturday night?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's in
if
Vegas.
If I'm not doing my baseball roundtable talks, I'll be there. If not, I'll be there before and after.
The pay-per-view don't start till 9 o'clock. The main fights start after 9 p.m.
My show
Central.
starts at 9.
Well, it's a 3-hour pay-per-view, so you might be able to catch. An
I'll
hour
pop
or
in
two.
after.
The
But
main event will
try
be
every-
before midnight.
But try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. I'm Smoking Jeremy B. That's Ad McNally, and that's Marky Mark and his funky bunch up there from Dirty South Entertainment. Have a great night, everybody. I am out.
All right, Jerm. Take it easy, buddy. Mark, you got any parting shots before we bail out of here?
Oh, I mean,
And Melania was close to the match, MDE. She sat right beside
did
Trump
you see
all night.
his eye? Did you see that eye? Both his eyes were fucked up.
Whose?
Olivier, like as soon as the fourth round ended and he sat in that stool, they said no, he can't go no more. So they called it by TKO referee stoppage, and Gaethje won the
That's the
title.
last fight.
Yeah, Gaethje won it at the end of the fourth round.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. It was already midnight by the time I got off.
Oh, look at Gaethje's eye. Like, it was so bad. Like, it was swollen shut, and the other one looked like it wanted to pop out.
That was fun,
Gaethje
though.
fucked him up. It was absolutely fun, and it was absolutely successful. And I got to go back on my – I'm waiting. I got to go check on it. I had to go – I got exclamation marked on a couple clips, so I got to go I got to go remove those so I can get more viewership to pop up and it don't get taken off my channel.
Let me know if looking at my Boston Scally's got us in trouble too.
No, I only got flagged on 3 clips. I I got 5 on it clip, my Remember the Titan clip, and Blow the Whistle.
Okay, so it was your clips. All right, so it wasn't viewing the Boston Scally, so we can do that and it's okay.
No, I just won't have to play those clips again. Because I've played them in the past in other shows lately and nothing happened, but I guess because this was a 5-hour live stream, they were like, oh, he played a clip that was longer than 20 seconds. Okay. I mean, well, longer than 10 seconds.
Gotcha.
All the other ones were fine, but, I need to go check on that.
But Mark, anything else lined up this week, brother?
Yeah, I'm going to be on open mic tomorrow night. I'm going back to my regular schedule Thursday, where I'm going to mainly recap what we've had in FIFA, recap the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup Finals, UFC Freedom 250, and talk a little bit of Astros and Gumbo Gator because that's the only teams I have to talk right now until football starts. And then Saturday morning, Rich and I, another edition of the Cajun Turnbuckle Podcast. We've been talking about legends lately, and we did Junkyard Dog last episode, and we're going to do Booker T this weekend.
9 o'clock MD. If you want to be a guest, man, it's open mic. Talk about whatever sports related tomorrow night, Mike. If you want to jump in, let Jeremy know, let me know, and or let me know right now. We can send you the link.
Yeah. All righty. I'm out.
Right? Yeah, this is Sports Talking It on Twitter, guys. Marky, let me know if you can get that done tomorrow.
Well, yeah, it'll probably be sometime after 2 or 3 o'clock tomorrow because it said I can't use.
Because I'm trying to get that done. I want to put it on my bean bags.
You making bean bags cornhole bean bags?
Yeah.
I thought you meant bean bags you're laying on.
No, I'm not going to be laying my ass on you guys.
All righty.
I might make a board. I might get them put on a board too. So.
I remember I saw your board idea. I saw that one. Shit, I'm still tired from last night. I went to bed at almost 1 o'clock because I was so hyped because we saw the most patriotic fucking thing we could see. And, of course, you got people bitching, but you had a lot of people that said, we are so back, baby.
Oh, for sure. That was awesome. I don't care. That was awesome. People don't realize, you got a free tour of the White House last night on every fighter.
Yeah. I wonder how much did it really cost the UFC to have it there? Because someone said, well, what if Trump wanted to do it again for his 90th birthday or something? He's like, I can't fucking afford it. So it must have cost a shitload of money to host it at the White House. Because he said,
just remember you had 85,000 people around the pool outside around the Lincoln Memorial, and I don't know if any of that cost money to watch.
I don't know, but he said,
I'm sure they didn't charge any of the military people that were inside the White House.
I don't know, but I know he said they've only did one show there and they've done one show at the Sphere and they'll never go back to them two places again. The Sphere show was awesome too.
Well, if they go back for Trump's 90th birthday, he might be able to pay him because, he won't have to worry about people bitching because he's not president anymore and he'll be able to have his businesses back and shit.
Hopefully J.D. Vance will be president by then. We can have it again.
J.D. Vance will be done. It'd be like Barron Trump time.
Or him or any other Republican.
Right. But anyway, that is 10 years from now, folks. 10 years. That's it.
I'll be in my fucking 40s, sadly, in 10 years.
God, we're still going to be doing this and drinking beer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, boys. But on that note, we are closing shop. We'll be back tomorrow night for open mic, and we will see you then.
Booyah.
Oh, shit. I almost fucking just left the studio and forgot to hit end stream.
I'd have ended it if you left.